Good evening, friends, and welcome to the 61st incarnation.
61st already?
61st.
Oh, Lord.
Of the Bill Crane Report with my friend Duane Weiss. Well, as we come to the year's end, it's probably appropriate to take stock of our blessings, one of which is the great support we get from the NCTV crew.
Absolutely.
Yep. Katie Woodhams, Andrew Barker, and Chris Lawn. Now that's the good news, folks. The not so good news is Chris has played out his option and is going to sign with a new team.
He's deserting us.
Deserting us. He's been a great producer for our show, and now he's gone cross-country.
It's going to be a West Coastie.
New challenges in Oregon. So we want to extend all the best to Chris and wish him lots of new adventures and challenges.
Absolutely.
As he branches out. We're going to miss the lad.
Yep.
And,
it's also the home of Bigfoot, so he's got to be careful.
Well, but still, he promises that he'll come back and work on each and every show of ours.
Yeah. We're not holding our breath.
Well, I'm not.
No.
I'm putting a lot of money on that.
Nope.
And by the way, congratulations to the King Philip football team.
Yep.
For winning the Division 1A Super Bowl.
Yep. Quite a couple.
Holy cow.
The school's on a roll. They also, the band won national honors.
Did they really?
Which is not unusual for that band. They are got an unbelievable musical program. It's just, I don't know how they do it year after year after year.
You know, that started back in 1958, the first year.
Yep.
Raymond Hill was the band leader, marching band coordinator, and he was great.
Yep.
He set the bar high.
Yeah. Oh,
and
yeah.
they have continued to follow that tradition.
But
wow.
the school is on a roll.
Yeah. And that, my friend, was more than 50 years ago.
Gee, tell me.
Quite a few more than 50 years ago.
Yeah. When you start going back for your college 50th reunions.
Now you know
yeah.
that, you're getting old. Also, I have just finished reading a couple of books, which I wholeheartedly recommend to you folks. They're both great reads. They're both written in a down-to-earth, straightforward fashion. One of them is Five Presidents by Clint Hill. Now, he's a bodyguard from the Secret Service. And he talks about the 5 presidents that he had the privilege of guarding. And Killing the Rising Sun by Bill O'Reilly.
Oh, I read all these other books, Killing Kennedy and Killing Patton.
Then don't buy it, because I got it and I'm finished with it. So you can certainly borrow
Thank you. He's a great author.
Sure is. I don't know whether it's him or the other guy.
Who knows?
But O'Reilly's...
The books are good. I mean, the books are really
good. And this one, really... Well, I'm not going to spoil it for you, but I'm going to tell you, there's stuff in there that I have never read before. Good stuff. So, as I say, if any of you folks would like to borrow Killing the Rising Sun, and also I recommend Killing Kennedy. I have that also.
That's a good book, too.
Yeah.
They're all
the
whole Killing series is excellent.
When Duane gets
I'm not sure. Where did he come up with that title?
I don't know.
Killing Patton, Killing Kennedy, Killing...
Yeah. I was trying to remember what Killing Lincoln was the
Killing
first
Lincoln,
one. Yeah. And then Killing Jesus.
Yep.
But I'll tell you, he's on a roll with him. And boy, he must be. And he donates every penny he makes.
I didn't know that.
Yeah, to charity. And before we get to the meat of our show, here's a couple of interesting statistical tidbits for you numbers aficionados out there. The city of San Francisco, California, and immediate environs voted overwhelmingly in favor of Hillary Clinton.
Of course.
Would you care to take a guess on the percentage?
Well, probably 75-25.
85-9.
85.
Manhattan, New York supported her also. 87-10.
That's a little more surprising than
It was just
San Francisco.
Manhattan Island.
Okay, just Manhattan.
Yeah. Now, this really puts into perspective how little support Hillary had with the real and normal citizens in the U.S.
Yep.
And if we want to go to back to that idea of sawing off California and allowing it to
Float out to sea?
here's some meat to support that contention. Well, folks, I thought we'd talk about the top news stories of 2016. Now, this is my list, and it's in no particular order. So I thought that Duane and I would spend some time talking about these stories.
Yep.
I have a triple header to start off with, but dot number one, we elect a president amidst a great hoopla. And
That's for certain.
would you explain something to me? Are we going to have this circus called a presidential election extended even further than
Through the
it
whole
is?
administration?
Just about, yeah.
I think so because the media will not give up on it. They constantly harping between the local papers, the Sun Chronicle or the Boston Globe. There's not a day that goes by that they don't have article after article after article spinning something anti-Trump. It's never trying, we've got to come together, we've got to work together. It's divisive. It's just pushing the two sides apart.
Do you know that if Hillary had won and the Trump people reacted the way
Same
the
way.
Clintonistas have reacted,
Absolutely.
the newspapers would have been saying that ignorant rabble.
Yep.
They're going to foment trouble here. They're not American patriots. Give it up. The election's over. The people have spoken.
Bill, the closing of one of those debates was, she asked him, will you accept the result of the election? And he hemmed and hawed, and he kind of held his cards back. And she says, I will accept it. She's the one that doesn't accept it. She and her cohorts.
That's right.
They just will not give up.
Do you know she's had her day in the sun?
Yep.
She's been in the spotlight. She's been queen of the ball, or whatever it is she sees herself as. The people have spoken. We've
That's right.
seen your act. That's it. We've seen enough of it. Go away.
Yep.
She refuses to go away.
Oh, yeah. It's
I don't think this is going to end well for her. I mean, they're going to have to drag her
Oh,
off.
yeah. Kicking and screaming
Yeah,
at some
and
point.
lock her up in a room down on Block Island or someplace with good people.
Well, I think that there was a sign somebody wrote on the wall, some graffiti in the MBTA, and I had quoted here, he won, stop crying, live with it. You can't say it any better, easier.
Do you know that was adjudged to be hate speech?
Oh, exactly.
Yeah.
Somebody deemed that as a hate speech.
Yeah.
That's why I brought it in there.
Give me a break.
Yeah.
Have we gone completely nuts?
Oh,
This PC stuff,
it's just.
if nothing else comes out of the next 4 years of the Trump administration, if we break the back of PC and discard it,
Yep.
it'll be a total success.
Now, you know what I'm worried about is the inauguration. I cannot see him walking down that street, Pennsylvania Avenue, where they get out of the car sometimes and walk, or this it without some nutcase trying to do something. I just shudder because there's so many cases out there, so many crackpots. And you got people like the Globe that used to say, this man must be stopped at all costs.
Yeah.
Now, what does that mean to you and I? It means that don't elect him.
Exactly.
Don't vote for him. To some nutcase someplace, and there's plenty of them out there, that means a hell of a lot more.
I was on a plane going to Pittsburgh. Well, on U.S. Airways, you went to Pittsburgh. If you were going to go to hell, you had to go to Pittsburgh.
That was their hub.
Yeah. So I was sitting up. I always flew first class because I had so many miles. They would always up me to first class. And a lady came and sat beside me. She started on my ear. So I said, so what do you do for a living? She said, I'm a professional fundraiser.
Oh, yeah, okay. There's a...
I said, okie dokie. Well, that's interesting. Now, you slide a few bucks in your pocket, do you, from time to time? Now, that's an awful thing to say to me.
Shame on you.
Yeah, the devil made me do it. So I said, so what are you going up to Pittsburgh for? Well, it's a huge rally. We're raising funds for, I forget who the hell she told me it was, but it was during the reign of George W. Bush.
Okay.
And so I said, so you're raising funds for the Bush re-election campaign? I am not. She said, I would do anything in the world to stop him. I said, do you really and truly mean that? She looked at me and she said, I'm telling you right now, there is nothing I wouldn't do to stop that man.
Well,
Do you know something? I believed her.
Oh.
She was a vindictive, foul-tempered lady. I'd hate like hell to have her on my case.
Oh, boy. But she's in the right position. Right job, though. Fundraisers, they are obnoxious. They are just obnoxious people.
Boy. My second part of the 3 parts of the first top news story is, first one was we elect a president amidst hoopla.
Yep.
Second of all, it's Donald Trump. That has got to be the political story, I was going to say of the century, but probably since we declared our independence. Started voting for a president.
It's absolutely got to be right up there at the top.
Yeah, it's got to be.
Yep.
I mean, the election of George Washington was a slam dunk because he was the leader of the country, whether it was in an elective capacity or as the leader of the military or whatever, but he was it. And memory serves me, I think he ran for a second term unopposed.
Probably.
I'm quite sure he did. And then, of course, we had Abraham Lincoln. Arguably, I'm not sure he was the greatest president, but he may have been the greatest man that ever sat in that seat.
But one thing you got to remember, those days, we didn't know what was going on until much later, looking back.
Absolutely.
Now everything's instantaneous.
Yeah.
The communications are now.
Donald Trump's twittering
now.
Oh
my God, yeah.
He's having a hell of a time. But the fact is, Donald Trump, the antithesis of a politician, just the exact opposite.
He got a lot of votes because of that.
That's number one.
You betcha.
He also talked common sense.
Yep.
Number two, he also was a tried and true businessman, very successful, very rich, and that didn't happen by accident.
No.
To me, he is the presidential story in the history of this country.
Somebody said one time, you can't bribe a billionaire.
Yeah, that's right. Yeah. You go from Lincoln to Teddy Roosevelt to FDR to Ronald Reagan. And there's your great presidents.
Yeah.
But Trump eclipses them all because he's
Trump.
yeah.
It's going to be interesting to see how this shakes out.
Well, that's it. Exactly.
But do you know they will cut him no slack?
That's right.
Absolutely nothing. He has to walk that narrow line. He don't dare make what he says anything wrong or he does anything wrong. He looks the wrong way. They're going to blow this thing up and magnify it.
I don't think he stays awake nights worrying about.
That's just what I was going to say. I don't think he gives a damn either.
He doesn't, and that's the beauty of
Yeah.
it. That is the absolute beauty of it. He's just a guy like you used to meet down to the American Legion Hall
Absolutely.
and have a few beers with and blast off with. And the third part of that three-part first story, it's not Hillary Clinton that was elected.
Yep.
Yet, she was the first female to run. And you know, I said again to my wife this morning, I said, you know, this country is ready for a woman president. They're not going to blink an eyelash if a qualified woman runs.
I don't think gender has any play in this thing anymore at all.
No. And by the way, did you have anybody say to you during this entire year-long siege of madness, did you have anybody say, I can't vote for her, she's a woman, I'm voting for the man?
No.
I never heard that once. Not once.
Being a woman or a man, gender specific, is gone. I mean, look in Europe, how many times that we've had Merkel, great leader. And England had great leaders.
Maggie Thatcher.
That's right. Israel had, what was her name? I can't remember.
Golda Meir.
Golda Meir. I mean, they blew that gender thing out of the water a long time ago. I think that we've got.
Well, I think that they. Well, yeah, you're absolutely right.
Yeah.
You're absolutely right. We were slow catching up
Yeah.
because we didn't have women in the political process quite the way, for instance, Israel did.
Yeah.
Because they had women in the armed forces.
Oh yeah, all along.
And they had them in most of government.
I think
too.
that gender issue is dead.
I do too.
Yeah.
I do too. In fact, you know, I think of, there's a talking head on Fox Financial. I think she's on Fridays at 9 o'clock with Stuart Varney.
Yep,
Tammy Bruce.
I've seen her. Yep.
I vote for her.
Oh yeah.
I don't know what her stand is on all the issues, but I'll tell you what, I'll mail my vote in for her tomorrow. She is just some kind of an outstanding gal.
Oh yeah. Yeah.
And some of those other guests that Stuart has on there. By the way, Fox Financial is running away with the ratings between them and CNBC and MSNBC. They're burying them. And you look at the talent they have on those shows. I mean, Stuart Varney is great in the morning, and then Neil Convuto comes on at noontime, and you got Lou Dobbs at night.
They're a pleasure to listen to.
Yeah. As far as I'm concerned, and I've said this before, Neil Cavuto and Lou Dobbs are the two smartest guys on TV.
I saw Neil one time. There was a breaking story, and it wasn't where he had had rehearsed or anything else. It was just coming at him all the time. He handled that just unbelievable.
He's got this wicked sense of humor too. Yeah, he's very good. He's very, very good. So it's no mystery why they're in first place. So she has paved the way for
Yeah,
another
well,
female.
absolutely.
To come. If there was any blowback on her being a woman, I didn't see it.
Ah,
But if there was, it's gone.
yeah, it's
It's
gone.
over. It's done with. That's the end of the story.
I think we can put that one.
Yep.
That issue to bed.
Issue number 2. Terrorist attacks in our country on our soil. Yet our president refuses to call it what it is.
Yep. One of the generals said, "If you can't identify your enemy, you can't defeat him. You don't know who he is."
Absolutely. Absolutely. And if your borders aren't secure, you don't have a country.
No.
And I know, I've got to, folks, I got to paraphrase this. But it was in black and white, and it was published. But why President Obama cannot bring himself to tell the country the truth
I don't
about
know.
terrorism is that he does not think that the average person in this country is intelligent enough to understand what he is saying and is going to be prone to overreact
Yep.
and lose their temper and do and say irrational things.
Yep.
So as a result, he has held back telling the truth.
He cannot say Muslim terrorist.
Yeah.
Those two words together.
Because he's afraid the unwashed American troglodyte knuckle dragger is going to say, "I'm going to go bring down some Muslim temples because the president said they're bad."
Yep.
And, and he seems to think that that's the constituency out here.
Yeah. It's not.
That is, his chief failing as far as I'm concerned. He never understood his audience.
Right.
He couldn't talk about race relations. Because
And when he did, he would muddle it up so bad.
Well, he didn't want to say the wrong thing to inflame passions among the idiots that he seems to think are the majority in this country. I don't know. But I'll tell you what, terrorism is in this country.
Yep.
It's here to stay until we stomp out every last one of them. And boy, I'll tell you what, I just don't think we're going to be able to do that.
No.
So it's going to be education. It's going to be community involvement. It's going to be people dropping a dime on bad guys.
See something, say something.
That's right.
It has to be.
It has to be.
Even that now, we're the low-hanging fruit. You notice they're picking soft targets now. The easy stuff. And you can't stop it. You'd have to change your whole lifestyle. You'd not do anything.
And knock on wood, but I am surprised there's not more.
You know what I'm surprised at? Particularly with the drought and stuff, and the fires. I mean, 2 terrorists walking around with a book of matches.
I wouldn't be surprised if some of those fires were set.
Fires for 100 miles in the line. Just go driving down the road, throwing incendiary stuff out. You could get so many fires going, you couldn't control them anymore.
Yeah.
I'm not surprised that some of them weren't even that. Yeah.
But the terrorist threat is real, and it's not going to go away.
No.
It's going to take a real, genuine effort. And I surely hope that President Trump, and I sure hope he's able to jack up his underlings to understand this mission. The assassination of our police officers.
Yeah, it was open season for a while. It still is.
It is. Yeah.
And that's terrible.
It is. I think we'll probably have a lull for the cold weather.
Oh, yeah.
But I'll tell you what, once we start to get hot weather again, the mobs will be out at night and there'll be bad things happening.
And the precedent is set from the top on down.
That's right.
Cops bad. That's it.
And rioters are good.
Good, yep.
They just misunderstood.
That's right.
Whatever happened to the old idea that if there is an insurrection and rioting and looting, that you shoot the looters?
I don't know. It used to be there was
Yeah,
looters would be shot.
that's right. Absolutely.
Yep.
Maybe I think the old ways were the best ways. You can't have peoples burning down neighborhoods, communities.
No, you can't.
For every action, there has to be an opposite reaction.
Well, otherwise, just anarchy is what you're going to end up with.
And I'm afraid that this assassination of police officers is going to go on for a good long while until we get reasonable people in the communities. But by the same token, we've got to improve the lives of the people in the communities. We can't just say, look, work with us, we're going to make things better. They've heard that for 30, 40, 50, 60 years. We've got to make things better. Education has got to be better.
Oh, yeah,
There's
absolutely.
got to be employment, jobs.
And you got to start with this community itself. And somehow that ideas and the values have to change. You know, I did just a thing in the paper again the other day that they were talking about $15 an hour minimum wage. Well, some of these people say, I don't want $15 an hour because I'll lose some of my benefits. I'm making $24 an hour equivalent to right now. You got to get out of that mindset that my great-grandmother was on welfare, my grandmother was on welfare, my parents were on welfare, so I'm going to be on welfare.
Yeah, I mean, it's a way of life.
Yeah, it's
It
become
really is. It's ingrained in them. And it's the man's going to give me the paycheck.
Yep.
Yeah. So we've got to break that somehow. But this assassination of police officers, if we cannot have law and order and respect for law
That's
and
right.
order, then we are doomed as a society. I think if you took a look at, quote, the neighborhoods, it's probably 5% of the people 10% of the people that are the hardcore haters.
Oh, yeah.
The rest of the people are just like us, decent people, want to raise their families. And we've got to reach those people and say to them, these are your neighborhoods. You guys have got to stop the damn drug trade in your neighborhood. You got to stop the crack epidemic. And
We got to have a judicial system that's not afraid to put these people away, this 5%.
well, you're absolutely right about
Just
that.
stop. You know, just the other day, I forgot what the incident was. Oh, the guy that got shot, and they drove away. He was wounded, and then he drove into a fence, and I guess he was dead at that point.
Yeah.
But he had a record going 30 pages of stuff. And he had gotten things with assault with a deadly weapon, shooting people. I mean, and the damn judge would let him go. It's catch and release, just like some trout fishing places.
I have it. It's in one of my other folders for our next Law and Order show. But it was a guy convicted of various offenses. He had a record as long as your arm. And they got him with a gun. He pointed it at a cop. They shot him. He had been deported 8 times.
That's right.
8 bloody times.
I know it.
I mean, how is it such a foreign concept? You take a bad guy, you put him in jail.
Put him in Gitmo.
8 times he was given sent back out on the street.
Yeah.
Young Benyamini.
It's I saw that sign. It says catch and releases for trout fishing, not for justice.
That's right. The assassination of our police officers have a tough enough job. But if the bloody judges
Yep.
will not enforce the law,
They are part of the problem.
That's exactly
they're
right.
not part of the solution.
They're not part of the solution.
they're part of
They
the problem.
are the problem.
Yep.
And the other thing, too, that gets me about the judges is once you become a judge, I mean, that's like having a get out of jail free
Sure.
card.
Absolutely.
There's nothing anybody can do to you. Well, we have a judicial review board. Oh, who sits on that?
Yeah.
Well, judges.
Judges.
Yeah. When's the last time they ratted out one of their own and sent him packing?
Last time I remember, her name was Maria Lopez. That's the last one I remember getting kicked off the bench.
And she begged for it.
Yeah. Oh, she was disgusting.
Yeah. But one of the best things that we can do for the safety of police officers is demand that these people, criminals, be put away. Yeah. Brexit. Now, there's quite a story.
Yeah, you're not kidding. It's quite a story.
And to you folks from City Mills that have been hidden up there and haven't been getting newspapers lately, Brexit is the backing
He
out
said it. I didn't.
of Great Britain out of the European community.
EU.
They had a vote, and they voted to travel out. That's it.
It was a Trump vote.
Yeah.
Nobody saw that one coming.
That's right. Nobody
Same
saw
thing.
that coming either.
Nope.
Yep. And to me, this is the best thing that ever happened. Now, the Brits were smart. They didn't go whole hog on this Eurozone because they kept their own currency,
Yep, they still use a pound.
which the pound is strong currency and all. But they were cooperating with the European community, but they finally had it. I mean, when they tell you the size of a piece of paper you're going to make, use to have a mailing on, or how you're going to dispose of plastic, and I mean, good Lord, they were just interfering in people's lives to a point where you say to yourself, what the hell? I mean, are they peeking in the shades at night to see what we're doing, too?
And then they were letting in,
Well, yes.
I shouldn't say no good nicks, but people that financially shouldn't have been let in,
Well, here's the thing.
bringing everybody down.
That whole European community allowed free travel within the
Oh,
21.
total open
Yeah.
borders.
So-
Once you crossed into that EU system, you're free to go.
That's right. And that was
The borders are like crossing here to Rhode Island. Welcome to Rhode Island.
Yeah,
You know, the sign
yeah,
is there, and that's
yeah.
it.
I mean, it's ridiculous. Europe, much more so than the U.S., this is a melting pot. It's worked here.
Yeah.
It's not going to work over there.
No.
They are very strong, nationalistic people.
Absolutely.
And it's like the Germans. They've had the Turks in there for what, 30, 40
Yeah, well, yeah.
years?
Yep.
Taxi drivers, menial laborers. And the Turks, we'd like to be citizens. Ain't going to happen.
Yep.
You're not German.
Nope.
You're not going to be a citizen. End of the story. Don't like it? Get the bricks.
Adios.
Yeah, you knew that coming
Yep.
in. We told you that. I don't think this whole Euro thing was a great idea, and there's enough chinks now in the chimney that the whole thing
Yep.
is going to collapse. Certainly, the Italians will probably.
Yeah, they'll go, I think.
I think so. They're on shaky ground, and the Greeks are about one more financial disaster away from
They
who knows
They
what.
just will not tighten their belt with anything.
No.
Nothing. They won't.
No. Well, here is probably, I don't know, pretty down, I don't know. I think Donald Trump may be the number one story, but here's probably number two. ISIS.
Yep.
What do we do? How did it come to be? Well, I don't know, a very simplistic answer is probably we left Iraq too soon.
Yeah.
We won the war, and then we said, oh, President Obama says we got to get out of here. He ran on that. We're bringing the troops home, no more boys over there.
And telegraphing everything you're going to do.
Absolutely.
You don't do that militarily. No. You don't say, I'm going in there for 30 days and then I'm going to leave.
Well, so when you form a vacuum,
yep.
God only knows what happens.
Something will fill it. Yep.
And ISIS filled it.
Yeah, yeah.
And this is a bad bunch of people.
Oh, we thought the Taliban was bad.
Yeah.
And, they were nothing according to these guys.
No. Now, we've got to get real about ISIS.
Mm-hmm. Oh, yeah.
This fellow in the White House was just strictly going through the motions. He couldn't even get the name right. It was ISIL.
ISIL, yeah.
Yeah. But we just snuck another, 200 or 300 troops into Iraq.
Yep.
So it just proves the point that we should have maintained order.
Yeah.
And helped them get back on their feet. I mean, we destroyed them. Yeah. So why can't we? Look what we did in Europe. Look what we
Germany
did in
and Japan.
Yeah.
We did it so well that we put some of our own industries out of business.
That's exactly right.
We built Japan. We built brand new steel mills. They ruined the steel business in this country.
So we've got to have the will and the wherefore to get after ISIS and defeat them. Mm-hmm. Now, personally, I think seeing 4 generals in the cabinet is a sight that I love.
Me too. The whining and the crying and the gnashing of teeth over this should have been done a long time ago.
When you're fighting a war, do you listen to the generals? Or do you listen to Valerie Jarrett at night
it's crazy.
And your wife on how to proceed?
Right.
I mean, it was the amateur hour in the White House.
Mm-hmm. Oh, it's been that way for years.
Yeah.
It's been an excellent case in point. No, unfortunately, we just lost a former Navy flyer, senator.
John Glenn.
He, one time, I read something that he wrote about the dangers of flying into North Vietnam. And it was so stupid that they were doing. They had to hide into a certain vector down this valley to get to Hanoi. They couldn't vary it 1 degree off one or the other. The same vector, make their mission, and another vector going out. Well, it didn't take them long, the North Vietnamese, to learn that, he's coming in from 83 degrees here, he's going to go out at 97 degrees down there. Where do they put their missiles? Right, just waiting for them.
Oh,
because some politician in Washington decided, we don't want you to deviate there because you might get close to the harbor, and there might be a Russian vessel in the harbor, and we don't want to.
Yeah, it's we don't want to break any eggs when we make this.
So we'll do it just like this safe way, but it got a lot of people killed, is what it did.
Listen, how many times did we have Osama bin Laden in the sights of a sharpshooter?
Right.
And Obama refused to give the order to shoot him. Is he where there are no civilians? Is there no children around to see it happen? Are you sure that the bullet won't ricochet? Well, forget about it, Mr. President. The car's left. He's gone.
Yeah, he's gone.
Yeah. Basically, that attempt to kill Obama, you had to have lawyers sitting in the room at all times. Is it okay to kill him now? Is it okay to kill him now? When you declare war and you get a chance to cut out the malignant heart of the enemy, you don't need a lawyer to
Right.
advise you. You give the order and you let the military take care of it. Good Lord.
We're not the kind of country that has the danger of a military coup.
Right.
Some of the European or some of them foreign countries.
Well, the Turks are always.
They're always on
the
the
Egyptians,
edge,
the
yeah.
generals were always marching.
Yeah.
And
But our system is set up totally different than
that's
that.
right.
So,
Yeah,
yeah, I agree. I think I like to see those generals getting appointed.
I do too. First of all, they're experienced.
Yeah.
They understand the real world out there.
That's the key right there.
Yeah.
The real world.
Yep. And they have the strength that comes from their military training, the discipline, the mental discipline.
Organized.
You know, in that book, Five Presidents, Clint Hill talks about the five presidents. And I won't tell you the whole story, but very impressed with Dwight Eisenhower. Now, Dwight Eisenhower had probably a reputation of being a little less intellectually than some of the other generals, and certainly less intellectually than Douglas MacArthur. But he found Eisenhower to be extremely smart, extremely squared away, and he ran the presidency in his day in this fashion where everything was on time. This is what we're doing from 8 to 8:45. At 9 o'clock, we're doing this. And every day at 1 o'clock, we're playing golf.
That's right. that goes back to being the military training.
Of course it does.
You've got to have some time to, sometimes to the second with these operations, or they're not going to work. It's get the people killed.
Yeah. It's interesting, too, in killing the rising sun. General MacArthur doesn't come out particularly great.
Yeah, I'm not surprised there.
Yeah. But, I mean, a brilliant tactician, but it was all vanity. I mean, some of the decisions that he made was because I want to march on shore. Another big story, which I think you and I probably did our best to ignore, was the Rio Olympics.
Yeah, we did kind of ignore it.
Really, they ought to plan the next Olympics maybe in the bowels of a volcano. I mean, I can't think of a more dangerous place to go than Rio de Janeiro.
I don't know if we didn't know about it or what didn't happen. I think a lot of people, myself included, expected a lot worse than it was.
Yep.
I expected a lot more crime, a lot more muggings and shootings and killings and stuff. But
I agree, and also I mean, just the lack of clean water.
Oh my God! Yeah.
I mean, it was just a nightmare, and we are very, very lucky that it went off as smoothly as it did.
Yeah, exactly.
That was a disaster getting set to happen.
I don't know what the real security background was there, but it just looked like perfect pickings for a terrorist act.
Oh, how the terrorists missed that.
They couldn't even get vendors to come in, like these big venues in the Olympic, the stadiums and stuff. Half the times they didn't have anything to sell. They were no soda, no beer, no nothing. They just couldn't get it organized. Yeah. And if the infrastructure is that poorly organized, you imagine what the security must be.
Horrible.
Yeah.
Probably the number two story, I guess, out of all of this is the refugee crisis destabilizes Europe as the Syrian carnage continues. How is this all going to end up?
Well, theoretically, these countries like Syria is going to be empty. Their whole place is just going to move someplace else.
It's a shell.
Yeah.
The Russians are obviously going to be in a very strong position
Yep.
in what's left of Syria.
Yep.
But how, when this thing was in its infancy, how did we let it just fester
I don't know.
to the point
Yeah.
where, we can't get involved in every two-bit revolution that happens in the world. But by the same token, when you see a fire in a tinderbox, you're saying this thing is going to burst into flames, and we don't do anything at all about it. I mean, without a doubt, the biggest clown since Bozo the Clown is John Kerry.
Oh my God.
Well, I'm friends with Bashar Assad. I will go see him. He and I we've sat down many times, blah, blah, blah. And what did Assad tell him to do? Go peddle your papers, buddy.
He was
He was gonna take care of everything. He's going to get it all straightened out because of his relationship.
he was a paper tiger from the get-go. His 25 Purple Hearts, whatever he got, and he put himself in for this award and that award.
How can an officer put himself in
It's not
for
usually.
a
It's not
Silver
done.
Star?
It's not done, except in his case.
Unbelievable. But you know what should have happened? Is not Kerry, but his commanding officer that approved that
Someone wouldn't approve of it.
should have
They
been.
said, this is embarrassing. I'm not putting my
court-martialed.
name on this thing.
Someone approved it.
Somebody did someplace. Yep.
Wow. If anyone in the Obama administration seriously listens to John Kerry, it's no wonder we're in the shape that we're in.
Yeah, that's true.
Oof. The Zika virus.
You notice that has the hysteria has died off on it.
Yeah. Yeah. Is this the wrong time of year for it, or?
I think so. I read something that it was the mosquitoes, I guess, were more dormant right now or something.
One of the good things, if there is a good thing about the Zika virus, is that a serum or a medicine, preventive medicine for it, should be an easy thing to do.
Yeah.
That's what they're saying.
I was surprised. I thought this was something fairly new, but this has been going on for years and years and years. We just the media didn't pick up on it.
Yeah. And it's got horrible side effects.
Oh my God.
And the Cubs win the World Series.
Good for them.
Gosh, Reno, Theo Epstein and Joe Madden and the whole gang came through, and the curse is off.
Yep.
My word.
I have a brother-in-law. His name is Robin. He watched the show. He's been a Cub fan for 30 years. I mean, Robin, you hung in there. Finally.
It paid off for you,
Yep.
Robin. Congratulations. The drug crisis continues to plague America.
Yep.
And you take a look at the Mexicans, the Afghans, and they say, what do you mean, why do we send drugs to your country? You send money to ours
That's right.
and order the drugs.
That's right.
It is your fault for buying this crap. And you know what? They're right.
They're right.
Absolutely right. This drug crisis in this country is proverbially like the guy that shoots himself in the foot.
Yep.
How did that happen?
Well,
This is a horrible, horrible thing. Now, the Globe has been doing a 5 or 6 part series on mental health.
I have not. I didn't.
No, I've got it
Francis
all separated.
Okay.
I got it off to one side. I'm going to sit down and I'm going to read the whole thing all the way through. Because one of the things they've honed in on is the mental hospitals that this state has closed.
Yeah, I saw that today
Yeah.
or something about.
Yeah. So I'm interested in sitting down and reading that, and I'll do that, and we'll talk about that sometime, because that's a huge mistake.
Oh,
Keep putting these people out on the street that cannot cope. And then you wonder, man stabs his mother 48 times.
I could never understand why Bridgewater, it's a mental facility, is under the Department of Corrections. What do they know about mental health?
Actually, what they do is they put in the criminally insane
Yep.
in there. Where else are we going to put them? Because we haven't thought this whole thing through.
Yeah, we haven't thought through.
I think that's why. America continues to be invaded by illegal aliens. To me, that is another huge story.
The first thing I'd do, and I think Trump was probably going to do something about it, is these sanctuary cities. That's ridiculous.
Yeah, but I want to take care of the border first.
Yeah. Oh, of course.
Yeah. We've got to secure that border. Now, whether it was a little hyperbole about I'm going to build a wall, it was an easier way of saying I'm going to secure the border.
Yeah.
It is not going to be a civ any longer. And
there is a wall.
Yes, there is. Yeah.
It's pretty tall, pretty high, but I see that they have no trouble scaling it.
No, they have no trouble scaling it at all. But you know, if you electrify it.
That's what I said too, 10,000 volts or something.
Yeah. Yeah, they'll get their attention. But this is a huge problem. And you know, it's not going to go away because they're not going to go away. And we're not going to be inhumane about it and say, okay, Monday morning, all of you line up and start getting those yellow buses because you're going back. It's not going to happen.
Not going to happen.
It's not practical. So what do we do with 9, 10, 11 million people? I can tell you one thing we don't do. We don't make them citizens.
Because if you do that, there's going to be a run on that border like you've never seen before in your life.
Nope. It's going to be like the old Oklahoma land run. Yeah.
The Sooners.
And you can't do that.
No.
You simply cannot reward illegal behavior.
That's right.
My little kids, they didn't know it was illegal. Yeah, well, that's, you know what? I can't solve every problem. I got other problems I have to solve too. But there's got to be a way, though, that we can allow them to stay in this country with a work permit. They pay Social Security, they get health care, they work, they pay taxes. They get to live here, but they're not going to become citizens.
That's right.
Castro dies. I suppose that's a big story, but it wasn't a big story to me.
No, I'm surprised he held on as long as he did.
Yeah. I certainly.
Big story if you're in Florida.
Yeah, that's right. Yeah, they
Miami,
certainly went hooting and hollering over that. Certainly didn't break my heart to see the old despot finally kick the bucket.
But it's going to be interesting, though, to see if there's any changes there.
Well, I think Raul has to go next.
Yeah.
Then God only knows.
What happens after Raul? Who's the next in line, you know?
I don't know. But it's, well, we don't really have a spyglass to see into Cuba and what's going on there. But I think instability will be next.
Yep.
And probably some form of the military attempting a coup, and God only knows where it goes after that.
But you know, we perpetuated that situation there by isolating them.
Of course we did.
There's an old saying, a worm that's never been out of an onion thinks it's the sweetest place in the world.
Yeah, right.
You know, he doesn't know any different.
That's right, exactly.
So the Cubans that grew up with Fidel and Raul now, they never knew anything else.
That was
so they think that
that was their daddies.
Oh, the people in the United States got it bad. We got it good.
North Koreans the same way.
Same thing.
Yeah.
Exactly the same thing.
The Pentagon decides women to be drafted for military service, including all combat roles. Has any polling been done to see how women feel on this
No,
subject?
that's something I never could figure out either. Do you know what you're asking for here? Mm-hmm. I don't think they do.
No.
But you know the advocates, the strong ones.
Oh, yes.
Are the big mouth, the one
That's
that's always
right.
shooting off their mouth about something.
That's right. Hillary, I didn't see her advocating this position. I don't think she would have gone in, although there was that phony story that she tried to join the Marines.
Oh my God, yes.
Yeah.
Like getting out, they got off a plane one night and got shot at, and they had to duck, and they were bullets flying all over the place.
Oh, yeah. What's the airport in Bosnia or Herzegovina?
I don't know. That was where it was.
Yeah, Turkler or Tula
Yeah.
or someplace. Yeah. So anyway, I would be very interested to see how many women would vote for this, and how many would. And the best way to do this would be to get the ones from 17 to 22 and just do them.
Mm-hmm.
Don't think
see how
this idea
agreeable they are to
resonates.
that.
Yeah. Here's the last one of the big stories. America has achieved energy independence. Now, it's not a done deal, but ladies and gentlemen, it's close to being a done deal.
Could be. We literally could be independent if we wanted to.
Yep. In fact, we could be selling our stuff overseas.
Yep.
I'm sure we're going to sell coal overseas.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
But this is a wonderful thing.
Yeah. Who'd have thought? Because used to the imports were just killing us.
Yeah.
The oil imports.
How about the embargo
Yeah. Oh my God. Yeah.
being hung up by the Middle Easterners? Yeah,
No, we were held hostage.
we sure were. America has achieved energy independence. Folks, we have our destiny in our hands.
Yep.
But yet, there are those among us who curse this.
Oh, they do not want anything to do with this fossil, dirty, nasty old fossil fuels.
In fact, they don't even want the hydroelectric power to
Yeah.
come down from Quebec.
Oh my, no.
No, they want
Okay.
clean, renewable. Now, what is that? Well,
Well,
it's
wind and
wind or solar.
Not nuclear though.
No,
Oh God, no.
no, 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 no. No. Well, friends, we have come to the bewitching hour when we must wish you good night. And we haven't gotten to predictions for 2017.
Yep.
So we will probably start there next time and then morph into some other great stuff.
Plus, I got some really interesting stuff about the Dakota pipeline and the protest there. It's not what you think it is.
Absolutely. And that is a great story. Friends, we'll see you next time.
Take care.
Take care.